Internet baby.
How do you know you're in a healthy relationship? She's watching TV downstairs, and I'm in bed upstairs on Reddit. And that's okay. It's Saturday night 10 p.m. This is the best, and a lot of people ask me if we are fighting, or why are we together doing the same activity. Giving each other space to do stuff without asking is a good sign. Exactly this. I love spending time with my BF. But I don't want him to sacrifice time he could spend with his friends. Especially if we are going to see each other later anyway. When we have alone time, it gives us something exciting to talk about when we are reunited. When you are comfortable just lying around together doing nothing. Naked cuddling is the best, just stay like that doing nothing. We've instituted weekly naked cuddle sessions cause it helps so much to be reminded how nice it is. Doesn't have to lead to sex, just being in bed together with skin-to-skin contact watching stupid things on TV does wonders. Yes. I like it when he just holds my boobs, doesn't even have to be in a sexual way, just hold them, feels really nice. Not sure if this counts as healthy or not. A few weeks ago my wife casually asked me what yesterday's date was. The 11th July, I said. And what day is that? Oh shit. Our wedding anniversary. She laughed, I laughed. We've been married for 15 years and have completely forgotten our anniversary about 6 or 7 times now, it's like a running joke. Having said that, God help me if I ever forgot her birthday. This is like a vision of the future. Spouse and I just had our first anniversary, which we only remembered because our friend's baby had his first birthday party 2 days before, and he was why our friend didn't make it to the wedding. We celebrated by watching the video of the ceremony and reveling in not having to plan a wedding. Relationships with other people aren't damaged by it. Oh, this is a good one. Someone shouldn't have to give up their existing platonic familial relationships in order to be in a romantic one. My brother and sister-in-law told me this story once. I like it because there's nothing else special except this one little note. It was a weekday. They each work at demanding jobs, so they both come home pretty tired. My brother got home first and started doing things around the apartment that needed to be done. My sister-in-law comes home and brings him a Chipwich ice cream for no special reason. That's how my brother knew she loved him. That's just been a relationship goal for me to experience ever since. F you my exes. It is great honestly. My husband brings me home a chocolate bar I like or a bag of chips or some random treat. It's just sweet knowing that he thought of me, that he remembers what I like, etc. I think of it as our equivalent to flowers. Some men randomly get their women flowers, mine gets me snacks. I'd rather the snacks, he knows me so well, and I do it for him too. Conflict is normal. Hostility is not. When you can comfortably disagree on things, it's likely you're in a healthier relationship. Ada, another general rule for a good relationship, is having good experiences with your partner 5 times as often as bad experiences. You argue, but it's productive and doesn't escalate into a full-on fight. Some strong language, but no put-downs, and you're always able to fall asleep next to each other. Good example, you don't even have to argue either. Myself, for example, when something's wrong, I'll talk about it. I don't ever yell or get mad because you'll get irrational in such cases. Sure, you can argue, but debating and talking is even more effective. I went from a horrible relationship where we were constantly screaming at each other at the top of our lungs to my current relationship where we haven't even had one argument. If I do something to bother myself, which is rare, he kind of approaches it in a playful manner so that I won't get upset. Like playfully saying, "Oh, you're in trouble," without actually getting outright mad. It's such a dramatic shift from previous relationships I've been in, but is really refreshing now that I know it is possible to make a relationship work without getting full-on angry at yourself. Just celebrated 4-year anniversary last month. Couple points. You don't fight, you discuss. Sure, voices may get raised sometimes, but if both of you realize that it is both of you against a problem, instead of both of you against each other, you are in a good place. X. Money is tight. Instead of fighting over who spends how much on what, you sit down and budget. Lack of undeserved jealousy. Sure, it's okay to be annoyed if that sleazy coworker of hers keeps hitting on her, but as long as she keeps rebuffing him, so what? Oh, he has female friends. Let him have them. Nothing feels forced. You want to spend time together. You miss them when they are not around. I am talking long after the initial passionate phase has passed. You don't define each other. You are still you, with your own hobbies and goals, as are they. It doesn't feel like work. If I have to work at a friendship, it might be toxic. Same here. Not saying relationships don't struggle, but see point number 1. When the relationship isn't one-sided. One person shouldn't have the responsibility of the world on their shoulders. Things should be shared as equally as possible. This is in regards to all aspects of the relationship. One person shouldn't always have the responsibility of taking care of the house if both people work 40 hours. One person shouldn't always put in the effort to plan dates and outings. One person shouldn't always initiate sex and physical affection. One person shouldn't stress themselves out trying to take care of and doing nice things for their spouse when they don't get anything in return. If any of these things are truly one-sided and isn't a mutual agreement between partners, someone is going to feel upset, frustrated, depressed, stressed, or unloved that they are the only one giving in the relationship and are likely to feel as though their partner doesn't care about them. Each person has a responsibility to make their partner happy, and they should want to do it. If it feels like a burden to do something nice for yourself, then the relationship probably isn't working on some level. This right here. My marriage was so lopsided it was comical. 7 years of me balancing our budget, paying bills, grocery shopping, preparing all the meals, laundry, dishes, cleaning. I was basically my husband's caretaker. I couldn't initiate sex because he was so tired from his part-time retail management job. Never mind that I worked 40+ hours performing EKGs at the hospital. His days off were spent playing Fallout or Skyrim or ESO, while I had to run all the errands and do all the chores. Me. I only got to play after dinner and dishes, and whatever other chore needed to be done. Just a crappy one-sided relationship. When you have a relationship difficulty, both address it as us against the problem, as opposed to me versus you. This is the best one. It prevents excessive arguing and resentment, which is one of the main causes of breakups. I'm not pretending. I don't fret about her cheating. I don't think about acting on cheating. I know if I speak my mind it won't blow up. I can say no. Fair distribution of chores. You don't feel trapped. Both of you bring out the best in each other. Both parties understand that alone time is a thing. Jealousy only exists in small and healthy amounts, which keeps the relationship fresh. You can't wait to spend time with each other. You make time for yourself because you genuinely want to. Small problems are not worth fighting about. You don't ever think about leaving the relationship. Sadly, but most of all, a relationship shouldn't be hard work. Yes, it takes some work to maintain a healthy and a functioning relationship, but it's something that you should enjoy, not dread. I don't think I've had one of these healthy relationship things, so I'll answer this by stating what you won't find if you're in a healthy relationship. You feel like the other person does things to you that you would never do to another person, and wonder how they could care so little. Your partner feels totally comfortable telling you lies and justifies it by saying that they had to lie to be sure that you would respond in the way that they wanted. Your partner tries to describe you in a specific, negative light, telling you how are, and it sounds utterly alien to how you think of yourself. Your partner makes no time for your needs or hobbies, and you find your time constantly scheduled for you in activities that you would rather not be involved in. No matter how much you earn, the amount of money you end up with each month stays the same. If you're not comfortable with doing something physical, the other person respects your wishes, rather than arguing that you're wrong to feel uncomfortable about it in the first place and pushing that boundary anyway. I'd say this is intro to basic human decency 101, especially with your significant other. My girlfriend sometimes apologizes, as if I might get mad, when she states as much, and I always make it a point to tell her never to apologize to me for being open about it. If you really care for the person, you want them to state as much, because you wouldn't want to fulfill your own needs at their expense. My fiancé and I live together. It's been going great for the 2 years we've been doing it. We live in an older apartment and the water pressure isn't amazing. The toilet falls under that. Sometimes you need to flush twice to get it all down. 2 days ago, my fiancé went to the bathroom and flushed. I came in a little later and there was still some remainders. I've dealt with this. I flushed it. Except one juice didn't go down. I flushed 8 times and it didn't go. Everything else did. Not it. She was made aware and we spent the rest of the day flushing whenever we could. It didn't go down. I get up the next day and I'm getting sick of this. It's starting to reek up the whole bathroom when we flush, and I've contacted the building people to take a look. I'm not going to inflict this on them though. The turd has got to go. She's away at work and I'm home alone. I took drastic measures. I sacrificed a plastic lid to lift it out, throw it in a bag, wrap it up, and took it to the trash can on the curb. She is very sorry and appreciative that I did that, but it didn't feel very mortifying. I don't know. I weirdly feel like being able to scoop my fiance's crap out of a broken toilet and not be traumatized is a good sign of a relationship's maturity. When you aren't walking on eggshells around the other person, you aren't worried about their reaction, because their reaction to situations is rational. I told my ex I felt like I was walking on eggshells constantly. Her reactions to me giving her constructive criticism she would ask for always wind up with her getting mad or crying at me. And she would tell me how I always rag on her. Then I told her that I don't like telling her how I feel because of her reactions. She thought that was stupid and said that I should tell her regardless of how she reacts. Thanks. But nope. This literally defines my current relationship with GF. Gets annoyed, upset, angry, cries at constructive criticism or simply nothing at all things out of my control things she gives me confirmation to do, and then says, if you truly knew me, you would have known I was lying, and you shouldn't have done it. She told me she spends too much. Yesterday she went out and bought a $14 milkshake an hour after telling me. Told her she needs to change her habits, starts crying, things I mean etc. when I'm trying to help. Her friends tell her I'm a dick, it's her life, YOLO, etc. Told her I have to walk on eggshells around her constantly. Love the girl but it's rough, don't know how long it's going to last if she keeps this up. I dated a girl for 2 long years, and she was definitely like this. Very controlling, very defensive, and would consistently take offense to what I said. Eventually, I learned to walk on eggshells around her, for fear of having to deal with her reaction, often a temper tantrum. It took me a while to break up with her, because I was convinced I was in love. However, I think I first started to realize it was over when I started envisioning my life with other people. I guess it comes down to how you want to spend your time. I really enjoy philosophy, and the thrill of a discussion. I came to realize that, in the relationship I was in, that was never going to happen, because she would get defensive, and I'd wind up apologizing for something I enjoyed. I'm not demonizing her, either. I had encouraged that type of behavior since the beginning of the relationship, so of course she would continue doing it. But I realized I didn't actually want to spend my time with her because of it, and was staying more out of fear of being alone. Never let your fear decide your fate. I've been single for over a year since then. Rather than chasing for my better half, I made myself into a whole person. I spend my time how I like, enjoy the company of whomever I please, and don't have to justify my behavior to anyone. Ending that relationship was the right decision. I learned a lot about myself, and it's contributed to who I am as a human being.